Archangel Michael says, "It's an emergency, I ordered you to open this now. You have been warned, someone in your family, who has already passed away, wants to tell you something, my beloved child. Heaven isn't quiet today, the stars seem to be murmuring, and the wind moves in unfamiliar patterns. A shift has occurred in the spiritual realm, because someone who once shared this earth with you, someone whose presence once brought your heart peace, is trying to get through. And now I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to bring you this urgent message, before it's too late. You felt it, haven't you, that strange tug in your spirit, that soft voice when you're alone, as though someone gently calls your name on the breeze. That sudden flood of memory, so intense it makes you pause. That's not your mind playing tricks on you, that's their spirit reaching out. It's their love still stretching across the veil, trying to cut through the distractions of this world. They have not found full rest, not yet, because there's something they need you to hear. They've tried to get through before, in dreams that slipped away the moment you awoke, in little signs that made your heart stop for a moment, a song that felt like them, a feather in your path, a scent that shouldn't be there, a flickering light. They've tried it all, but time works differently beyond the veil, and they can't wait any longer. This isn't a message for another day, it's not something you can return to later. No, this moment was chosen carefully for you. Heaven's timing adjusted just for this. And this message was placed here now, for reasons far greater than you may yet understand. So listen, not just with your ears, but with your soul. Hear with your heart. This isn't fiction, this is someone you once loved, someone who watched you grow, someone whose name still leaves your lips, when the nights get too quiet. They said goodbye once, but they never truly left, they are here, speaking through me. They want you to know, they are no longer in pain. The suffering they endured, the fear, the uncertainty, the silence, it has all been dissolved, like mist disappearing in God's light. They are now surrounded by love, warmth, and a peace so complete, it feels like being wrapped in the arms of heaven. But even in that peace, they couldn't rest. Because they saw your heart, they saw what you've been holding inside, and they couldn't remain silent. My beloved, they said, you've been blaming yourself, carrying guilt that never should have been yours, guilt for what you didn't say, for things you wish had gone differently, for moments you wish you could change. But from where they are, they now see the full picture, and they want that weight off your shoulders. They say, please tell them it was never their fault, please tell them to find forgiveness within, please tell them to keep living for me. They see you even now, when you quietly cry behind a brave smile, when you pretend to be okay, just to keep peace around you, when you scroll endlessly, just to distract yourself from the ache, they see it. And it breaks their heart, because they never wanted your soul to be burdened this way. They're saying your life wasn't meant to be spent in regret, your story is still unfolding. And if you don't release what's behind you, you'll miss the beauty that lies ahead. Yes, beauty, they've caught a glimpse of what's coming for you, and they say it's breathtaking. But only if you're open, only if your heart can receive it again. Glowing star. Pause right here, this moment is yours to choose something. If you're ready to let in the blessings, heaven has been preparing, subscribe now, so this message can live in you. Allow the divine to speak to you each day, let your angels walk beside you, let heaven reveal doors you didn't even know existed. Because your name is known here, your pain is seen, and your miracle is already on the calendar. Glowing star. Keep listening please, there's something they've been waiting to tell you. It's about a recent decision you made, that quiet moment, where you finally stood your ground, said no, or left something behind that was hurting you. You may think no one saw it, but they did, and that moment, it shifted everything. You often feel alone in your struggles, you wonder if anyone sees the private battles you fight each day. But they do, they witness you choosing light, even as darkness tries to pull you under. They see you choose love, even after being hurt. They watch you help others, even as you try to heal. And they are so incredibly proud. They say you've forgotten your own light, forgotten how much your presence brightens the world around you. You move through life feeling invisible sometimes, as if your story doesn't carry weight. But your story is already transforming someone else's life, without you even realizing it. Now they want to offer you something, a gift. Not something you can hold in your hand, but something much deeper. They want to offer you truth. And the truth is, you were never abandoned, not by them, not by God. Even in your lowest darkest nights, heaven cradled your tears. Even when you cried into your pillow, wondering if anyone heard you, they did. Even when you lost faith in miracles, your miracle never gave up on you. And it's close now. But before that, you must understand this. There's someone in your life, who is not showing you their real face. A secret influence, a subtle betrayal, a whisper behind your back. You sensed it, the shift in how they look at you, how their warmth went cold. You didn't imagine it, heaven sees clearly what you cannot. And they are asking you to be still, and trust the instinct you've been second-guessing. The soul you miss the most, the one now in heaven says, don't ignore the warning signs, just because you're attached to who they used to be. Because you're about to walk into a divine encounter, a conversation, a message, a chance that could transform everything. But not everyone around you is meant to come along, some were part of your history, not your future. And you must be courageous enough to walk into what's next, even if it means walking alone for a season. They want you to understand this truth, you were never alone, never forsaken. Even when your knees hit the floor in desperation, even when silence surrounded you, heaven heard. Even when hope seemed far away, your destiny was still being written. Someone close to you is hiding behind a mask, there are private discussions happening about you. You felt it when their energy shifted, when what once felt safe suddenly didn't. That was real, heaven is asking you to pay attention, and lean into your divine awareness. The one you love who has crossed over wants you to be careful. Don't look past the red flags they say, just because your heart still clings to who they were. You're stepping into a divine arrangement, a fated meeting, a life-altering opportunity. But not everyone should walk into this next chapter by your side, some people belong only to the pages you've already turned. You were selected, shielded, set apart, and that's why things have felt so unfamiliar lately. That's why old patterns are breaking, why certain relationships are fading. It's not rejection, it's alignment. You're being positioned for what's next. This isn't random, this is sacred preparation. And the one who loves you from the other side, they're helping guide it, they're speaking your name into divine places you've yet to reach. They're praying for you, guiding blessings your way, stirring strangers' hearts to be kind to you. They said, Tell them not to stop now, tell them I'm proud, tell them the moment is almost here. So hear this, don't give up right before your miracle appears, don't shut your heart before love returns, don't let fear drown your faith. Because what's coming, a moment, a message, a shift, will change everything. But only if you stay open, only if you choose to believe again. I, Archangel Michael, remain beside you, my sword is raised, my wings are open, and I'm ready to fight on your behalf. Your soul is sacred, your path is blessed, and someone in heaven still holds you in their love. They haven't forgotten, they never will. So move forward now, with courage in your chest, and love in your hands. Your angels still have more to reveal, your journey is far from finished. What you've just heard is the moment that turns the page. Something has already begun, and it's being shaped by love, far greater than you've ever known. You activate the future, you signal to heaven that you're finally ready to integrate the pain, not deny it. You become whole again, not by forgetting what happened, but by choosing to honor the one who survived it. That version of you, the one who cried alone, who doubted their worth, who gave love even when it wasn't returned, that version deserves acknowledgement. They paved the way for the strength you have now, they carried you to this very moment, where the divine can finally reach you, in a way it couldn't before. This is where things begin to accelerate. Your healing will no longer move at a crawl, it will rush in like a flood, gentle but undeniable. You will begin to notice signs aligning, conversations shifting, dreams becoming clearer. People you once chased will begin to notice your absence, things you once begged for will now beg for you. Because now your energy has changed, now you're operating in divine alignment, and once that happens, nothing and no one can block what was always meant for you. But here's something else they want you to understand, just because it's meant for you, doesn't mean it will come without resistance. Darkness doesn't let go easily, old patterns will try to resurface, people from your past may reappear, not because they've changed, but because your light is calling attention again. Don't be fooled, don't let nostalgia lead you into repeating cycles. You're not who you used to be, and that's a good thing. They're reminding you now, of the strength you forgot you had, the strength to say no when it costs you connection, to walk away when love starts to feel like control, to trust your inner voice, even when it trembles. You're being reborn through this process. Every choice you make from here on, will either affirm your growth, or delay your blessings. Heaven is watching, not to judge, but to guide. The one who passed wants you to stop bargaining with your own spirit. You keep shrinking to make others comfortable, downplaying your intuition, suppressing your needs, so no one thinks you're too much. But you were never meant to fit into small spaces, you were meant to expand, to rise, to overflow with divine wisdom. They say, tell them to stop hiding, their light is needed, their story matters. You don't need to have it all figured out, to be worthy of what's next. You don't need to be fully healed, to begin again. They want you to release the lie, that you must be perfect before you can be loved. That was never the truth, you are loved right now, as you are, messy and magnificent, all at once. And this love isn't just coming from the spirit who left, though their love is deep and unshakable, it's coming from God, from the divine source, that placed purpose inside your bones, before you even arrived here. That purpose is now being activated, in ways you couldn't have imagined. You'll start to attract people who speak your language, who feel like peace, who reflect your growth, instead of your wounds. But you must let them in, you must trust again. And yes, that's terrifying, after everything you've been through. But the risk of staying closed is far greater than the risk of opening up. If you stay guarded, you'll miss what's meant for the healed version of you. So they ask you now, gently but clearly, can you let someone new love you, in a way that feels safe, not familiar? They know your fear, they know the betrayal that made you cautious. But this next season isn't about surviving, it's about thriving. It's about stepping into a life, where your peace isn't the price you pay for companionship, where your voice isn't silenced to avoid conflict. You deserve more than that, you always have. This message isn't here to shame you, for what you accepted before, it's here to awaken you, to what you no longer have to tolerate. You are evolving. That's why everything feels so sensitive right now. That's why your body is tired, your emotions are raw, your patience is thin. You're in spiritual labor, something sacred is being born through you, and labor is always intense, before the delivery of something miraculous. So when the discomfort rises, when you feel like breaking down, remember that you're not falling apart, you're being reshaped. Old identities are crumbling, false stories are dissolving. Everything that was built on fear, is making room for truth. And through it all, you are being held, you are not alone in this. The one you lost wants you to know, they never really left. They've been in the background, adjusting energy, placing people in your path, whispering courage, into your moments of doubt. Every time you felt a sudden calm in the storm, that was them. Every time you narrowly avoided a bad situation, they were guiding you. They are your spiritual companion now, closer than they ever were in life. You don't need a sign to know they're near, your soul already feels it. That warmth when you think of them, that rush of emotion at the sound of their name. That's connection, that's presence, that's love that didn't die with the body. And now more than ever, they are here to help you carry your purpose forward. They want to remind you of something you once knew but forgot during the pain. You are sacred, your existence is no accident. You were placed here during this exact time, for reasons that go beyond human comprehension. You are part of a divine timeline, and your soul agreed to this journey, before you took your first breath. So don't waste your energy, proving your worth to those who can't see you. Don't drain yourself, trying to earn love, from places that never offered safety. You were never meant to stay in environments that diminish your light. You are meant to rise, to heal, to create ripples of hope, in a world that desperately needs it. Your legacy begins now, not when you're more successful, not when you're more confident, not when you're less afraid. Now, in this imperfect, beautiful moment, where you're still choosing to believe in something greater. That belief is your superpower, that faith is your bridge, to the miracles waiting, on the other side of your obedience. They want you to know, that blessings are already being prepared for you, not as a reward for perfection, but as a reflection of grace. You're going to feel peace again, you're going to laugh without guilt, you're going to love without fear. And when that happens, you'll realize it was never about going back to who you were, it was always about becoming, who you were always meant to be. Keep your heart open, stay soft. Don't let the world convince you that being sensitive is a weakness. Your sensitivity is your gift, it allows you to feel heaven before it arrives. It's what makes you a channel for divine messages, a vessel for hope. Don't harden, don't close off, stay rooted in love, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. And finally, they ask that you promise something, not to them, but to yourself, that you will not give up, before the miracle unfolds. That you will keep going, even when it's quiet, even when it feels like nothing's changing. Because in the silence, God is working, in the stillness, transformation is blooming, beneath the surface. You're closer than you think, so close, just hold on a little longer, and you'll understand why the journey had to be this way. Because the angels are watching, not to judge, not to criticize, but to witness your awakening. They're watching with tenderness, waiting to see you realize the light that's always been within you. They know how long you've been carrying silent battles, smiling through heartbreaks, keeping the faith, when everything around you was falling apart. And now they're surrounding you more closely than ever, because this is the moment they've been preparing you for. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but something in the unseen realm has shifted. The energy around you is no longer what it was. There's a softness in the air, a stillness that only comes when heaven leans close. And in that stillness, a whisper has formed, not outside you, but deep within. A voice that says, it's time to trust your inner knowing, time to act on that nudge you've been ignoring, time to finally choose yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of sacred self-respect. They know you're tired, they see the weight you've been carrying. But they're reminding you, you were never meant to carry it alone. That burden, the regret, the fear, the grief, the guilt, it's not your forever. It was never meant to become your identity. Let it fall, let it dissolve, in the presence of truth. Because the truth is, you are still worthy, still chosen, still destined for beauty, even after everything. Your tears have not gone unnoticed. Every one of them has watered the soil of your next season. What looked like loss, was actually a clearing. What felt like abandonment, was actually redirection. What broke you, was never meant to end you, it was meant to open you. To awaken parts of your soul, that comfort could never reach. And now that they are open, raw and ready, heaven can begin the rebuilding. And they will rebuild you, not into who you used to be, but into who you were always meant to become. The person who walks into a room, and shifts the energy. The one who speaks truth, and others feel safe. The soul who forgives, not to excuse the hurt, but to free themselves from it. The light that reminds others, they're not too late, not too far gone, not too broken to begin again. The one you lost is watching all of this. And they're smiling now, not because your pain is over, but because your healing has truly begun. They've been whispering guidance, into your moments of stillness, sending signs, when you least expected it. That feather on the ground, that flickering light, that stranger who said something oddly specific, none of it was random, it was them reminding you, I'm still here. And they still are, not as they once were, but in a purer, lighter form. They move with you now, they move through you now. Their love didn't end, it evolved. It expanded, to cover every inch of your life, silently guiding, gently nudging, forever loving. You don't have to search for them, they are already beside you, you just have to be still enough to feel. So be still, not forever, not as a form of hiding, but as a sacred pause. Breathe, Exhale the pressure, let go of the timeline. Everything you're rushing toward is already making its way to you, but it can only enter when you're aligned. Not when you're frantic, not when you're desperate, but when you're ready, calm, grounded, and open. That's what they've been helping you with, the readiness. Because the moment you're stepping into isn't small, it's divine. It's layered with meaning, purpose, connection. It's bigger than a relationship, bigger than a breakthrough, bigger than material success. This is soul alignment, when your outer world finally mirrors the healing and truth within. When what you attract reflects who you've become. And who you're becoming is powerful. You're becoming the kind of person who breaks cycles without applause, who loves deeply without needing it returned the same way, who stands in their truth even when their voice shakes, who says no when something dishonors their spirit, who walks away from comfort to protect their peace. That is strength, that is sacred, that is what the world needs more of, and that is who you are becoming. They want you to know this, because they saw you at your lowest. They were there when no one else noticed, they were standing close when the room was dark, and your heart was shattered. And now they're still here, not to mourn what was lost, but to witness what will rise. You are the miracle in motion. And yes, there will still be days when you feel like you're unraveling. That's okay, healing isn't linear, awakening doesn't come with a map. But every time you choose to keep going, every small act of courage, every moment of honesty, every breath you take when it feels like too much, it's a victory. And they see every one of them. This is not just another message, it's a divine intervention. It's the moment heaven decided, you were ready to hear what your soul already knew. You are not forgotten, you are not being punished, you are not missing your purpose. You are being guided through a sacred refining. And what's on the other side is greater than anything you've prayed for. But here's the part they really need you to hear: don't go back. Don't return to what you had to pray your way out of. Don't shrink yourself to fit into spaces that made you feel invisible. Don't ignore the red flags just because you're afraid of being alone. Don't trade your peace for momentary comfort. What's ahead of you is worth the wait, what's ahead of you is aligned. But you must trust. And when you do, when you finally let go of what's not aligned, you make room for what is. That's when it arrives, the breakthrough, the peace, the clarity, the person, the opportunity. Not forced, not rushed, not manipulated, but sent, pure, sacred, undeniable. And you'll know, deep in your bones, you'll know this is it. And in that moment, they'll be there too, the one you lost. Watching with pride, holding your heart in theirs, whispering, I told you so, I told you you were worthy, I told you you'd make it. And you will, you're already doing it, you're already transforming, right now, just by receiving this message. So don't stop, don't doubt, don't let your past predict your future. The story is changing, the chapter is turning, and this time, you're writing it with wisdom, with grace, with spiritual support surrounding you. Nothing can stop what heaven has ordained, not fear, not people, not even time. What's meant for you will find you, and it won't be confusing, it'll feel like home. Because it was never just about survival, it was always about awakening. And now that you're awake, there's no turning back. The light has entered, the truth has been spoken, and the next part of your life begins now. That's my person, that's my miracle, dove. Amen. This is the end of the divine message, let it stay with you forever. And yet, even as those final words settle in your spirit, there's more to receive. Because divine love doesn't stop flowing, it continues like a river of light, winding through the shadows of your journey. Right now, as you take a breath, something within you is expanding, something ancient and sacred. You may not have all the answers yet, and that's okay. What matters is that your heart is open, what matters is that you're still here, and heaven sees that as a victory. They're telling you that everything you've endured has prepared your soul for a new level of light. The pain wasn't in vain, the silence had purpose, and every delay, every closed door, every unanswered prayer, was a sacred alignment for what is coming. Not one moment was wasted, not one heartbreak unnoticed. You may have felt abandoned, but the truth is, you were being held in the arms of angels, too powerful to be seen by human eyes. Even now those arms are wrapped around you. Even now the soul who loves you from beyond this world, is sending you quiet strength. They're saying, you're doing better than you think, stop measuring your worth by what hasn't happened yet. Instead, look at your courage, look at your resilience, look at the way you kept loving, even when your heart was breaking. That's the miracle, not what you have, but who you are. They want you to remember that your softness is not a flaw, your sensitivity is not a curse. It's a sign that your soul is still tender, still open, still awake to the divine. You are not too much, you were created to feel deeply, to sense what others miss, to hold space for those who cannot hold space for themselves. That's why they chose you, that's why heaven keeps pouring into you, even when you're empty, because your vessel was designed to carry hope. So let this message refill you now. Let it remind you that your breakthrough is not just coming, it's already begun. The shift is happening in the unseen, it's happening in the alignment of divine timing, in the hearts of those you're meant to meet, in the doors quietly unlocking, as you read these words. They are whispering, trust the process. You don't need to rush, you just need to keep showing up, with your soul intact. There's a divine rhythm to your life, even when it feels like chaos. And Archangel Michael is guarding every beat. He's standing watch at every threshold, every fork in the road, every moment of confusion. When you feel torn, when you feel unsure, when the voices around you are too loud, His presence will be your shield, His guidance will be your compass, and the one who loves you from the other side, they'll be the whisper in the wind, the warmth on your skin, the flicker in your dream. They need you to hear this clearly, nothing you've lost is greater than what's being restored. You may mourn what slipped through your fingers, but something better is being placed in your hands. It won't come in the way you expect, and it might not look like what you prayed for, but it will be perfect for you, tailored by heaven, softened by grace, sealed with divine intention. Don't be afraid to receive it. Let go of the idea that you have to earn this blessing. This isn't about your perfection, it's about your alignment. It's about trusting that you are already enough, already worthy, already equipped. Your only job is to keep your heart open, and your faith anchored. The rest is being handled by forces beyond what you can see. And when doubt creeps in, as it will, they want you to return to this message. Let it be your anchor, let it be the steady light in your storm, let it be the reminder that you are not walking this path alone. There are hands holding you, wings covering you, and eyes watching over you, with infinite love. This season of your life may look quiet on the outside, but on the inside, a sacred transformation is taking place. Your roots are growing deeper, your light is becoming clearer, and your purpose is starting to rise from the ashes of all you've survived. They're so proud of you. Not for pretending to be okay, but for being brave enough to feel, brave enough to hope again, brave enough to sit in the silence, and still believe something good could find you. That's not weakness, that's divine strength, and heaven is drawn to that kind of faith. That's why the next chapter of your life will be written in miracles. Miracles of alignment, miracles of healing, miracles of restoration, but also miracles of peace. The kind that calms your racing thoughts, and softens your anxious heart. The kind that wraps around you at night, and says, "You're safe now, you don't have to fight so hard anymore." Because you've already won. You won by surviving, you won by not becoming bitter, you won by keeping your heart open, in a world that tried to close it. You won by loving deeply, even when that love was unreturned. And you'll keep winning, not through striving, but through surrender. That's your divine invitation now. To surrender the timeline, to release the need to control, to stop chasing, and start receiving. Because everything meant for you is magnetized to the real you, not the version you created to please others, not the version you built to be accepted, but the raw, radiant soul, beneath all the masks, the one heaven already celebrates. So come home to yourself. Come home to your truth, your softness, your power. Let go of the shame, the doubt, the comparisons. There is no race, there is no finish line, there is only this moment, this sacred, holy moment, where you decide to believe again, where you say yes to what your soul has always known, that you are guided, protected, loved, and never alone. Let the tears fall if they need to, let your chest rise with relief, let your heart begin to mend. Because this isn't the end, it's the awakening. It's the moment your story turns. And when it does, everything that once felt heavy will start to lift, everything that felt lost will begin to return, in better form. And the voice of the one who loves you from the other side, it will keep echoing in your soul saying, "Keep going, we're right here." This is your divine affirmation. You are seen, you are heard, you are chosen. And you are ready. Amen.